Collective, it is 10/10, October 10th. So that is the 10/10 portal. I talked about it in yesterday's reading. If you haven't seen it, I posted it late last night because I had a really strong feeling to post a reading at 11:45 at night, I believe. And the energy has not really dissipated. It feels pretty intense. And the word that I've been feeling in relationship to this 10/10 portal is begin again. Now, from the standpoint or being familiar with spiritual numbers or angel numbers, and they're not called angel numbers because my name is Angel. That's how some people refer to them. Synchronistic numbers, angel numbers, spiritual numbers, essentially repeating numbers or repeating patterns. So 1111 or 2222, 111, 444, 555. So the 10/10 portal is about spiritual enlightenment as well as beginnings, but I'm hearing begin again. And it puts to mind this song by, I believe the artist is Steven Wilson. He either did or does still sing for a band called Porcupine Tree, and he's doing some solo work. But regardless, there is a line in one of his songs, and you'll have to, excuse me, I feel like I might be coming down with a cold, so my voice is a little bit rough, but the lyric is, "So pariah, you'll begin again. Take comfort from me. It will take time." Now, without singing it is, "So pariah, you'll begin again. Take comfort from me. It will take time." And not that I'm calling the collective a pariah, but I do feel like there is an energy in the collective that you feel like maybe you're on the outside of a situation, that you don't have access to something, or that you perceive or believe that you don't have a involvement in a certain energy, whether it's family, friends, lovers. Like you feel like you're on the outside of a situation that you really want to be part of. Now, the song itself, I'll go ahead and link it in the description box below. It's a beautifully poetic song about love and finding hope, even when you're feeling low. It's a beautiful song. But I'm focusing on the energy of begin again. Now, the 10/10 portal is right in the middle, basically, of Libra season, which I also see as Venus season because Libra is ruled by Venus. And so I see Libra season as a season of love. A lot of people think that February, because of Valentine's Day, is like a season of love. But for me, Libra season is the season of love because it's ruled by Venus. Also, Libra represents balance with the scales, being balanced in perfect harmony. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I do believe this has to do with love, and the begin again has to do with a love that existed at one point. This is not a reading about new love. This is about breathing new life into a previous love. Begin again. It's a new beginning for an old start, because I get the inclination that you, collective, have been trying to get something off the ground for a while. I'm hearing that maybe it was a distance issue, or maybe there was misunderstandings. Maybe there were some, personal wounds from childhood that, got in the way of our own happiness. I'm hearing right person, wrong time. But with this 10/10 portal, I'm hearing begin again. Like it's showcasing that this is a moment to, as I say, strike while the iron is hot. There's an opportunity being presented to the collective, and this kind of seems like a continuation of last night's energy. So if this resonates with you, you might want to check out last night's reading. What I'm going to go ahead and do is pull some oracles. I'm going to go ahead and get started for like an overarching energy about what we're looking into. What's sort of surrounding the collective, what you all are feeling during this 10/10 portal, this begin again portal. So at the bottom of the deck, we have message. The number is 33. That is a repeating number. So that would be a number that we call an angel number or a spiritual number. And it's not lost on me that it's this butterfly, or it could be seen as a moth. But both energies talk about the symbolism of moths and or butterflies is about transformation, metamorphosis, a type of rebirth, and the message that goes with it. Well, perhaps there's a message that is waiting to be received. Maybe, oh my gosh, this feels so much like yesterday's reading. There's an anticipatory energy during this 1010 portal. Maybe you're waiting on someone to message you. Maybe you are at the precipice, you're at your phone and you're typing out whatever you want to say, and then you second guess yourself, or maybe you're practicing what you're going to say, not necessarily to create a script because you don't want to be genuine, but you want to have an outline of exactly what you want to say. You don't want to get lost in the weeds. You want to be able to make your message concise and understandable to the person that you want to communicate with. So all of that, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the moon right here as something that is kind of an underlying energy. But I am going to pull I'll pull 3 oracles for the energy surrounding this reading today. So I just said transformation, metamorphosis. Now we have transmute. The snake is another symbol of transformation, metamorphosis, rebirth, because the snake sheds its skin and is essentially born anew. The moth or the butterfly goes into a cocoon when they go from their caterpillar form, their earthbound form, the 3D form, and then they transform or they transmute, they metamorphosize within their cocoon, and they emerge something that is new, beautiful, enlightened, self-aware, self-loving. Also, apologies for my roommate coughing in the background. I think he has his allergies. But we have 2 cards basically about transformation, metamorphosis, rebirth, transmutation during a 1010 portal when we're talking about love in Libra Venus season. Libra being the scales being balanced, and there being this energy from yesterday's reading into today where there's this anticipatory feeling that something is about to happen. Right here, I'm telling you, something is happening. Something is shifting. This 1010 portal is the almost like the peak of when this shift happens. Let's get some more cards. 2 more. We have earth sign. I just talked about your earthbound body. Earth signs are grounded. They are steadfast. They are loyal. They encompass the idea of security, home and hearth, investing for the long run. So you may have the earth element in your sign, whether you are a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, whether it's your sun, moon, rising, or you have a strong stellium in it. This would connect you to this reading. Being grounded. Again, and we have two cards with something that started from a 3D, from grounded caterpillar energy, into something that is born into accesses the air, spirituality, if you will. We have another grounded energy, the snake, that is born again through shedding its skin, and it's so grounded, its belly's right on the ground. Again, these are such strong imagery. Let's get one more. I can't help but say that collective, this 1010 portal feels like you are on the precipice of an incredibly strong shift in not only your life, but in your timeline. One more card. Then we have guides. Oh my goodness. In yesterday's reading, and I'm sorry I keep referencing it, but this feels like a continuation. Absolutely. If this resonates, you need to read, well, you don't have to, but it might be a good idea to check out the reading that I posted yesterday evening on October 9th. But guides, there is something that is catalyzing you, that is helping you navigate through this feeling of being kind of on the outside, feeling like you don't have access to a person, a situation, a friendship, a family. You're feeling like you're kind of on the outsides, that you are isolated, that you are, what's the word I'm looking for? Give me a second while I try to grab it. Ostracized from something that you want to be close to. But I think what the message that you're to receive in the metamorphosis or the transformation or the transmuting the energy that you need to understand is you're not outside of that situation. You just have to understand that there is a certain shift that you need to make, that your guides have been trying to show you. Maybe it's a way of thinking. Maybe you have self-limiting thoughts and you're like, well, if I was meant to have this opportunity, it would have come by now. Or if I was meant to be with this person, it should have happened by now. Or maybe I'm just not meant to be in this situation or experience this love or to have this opportunity. Having self-limiting thoughts hinders our own abundance. And your guides may be saying, it's time to start changing that feeling. I'm also hearing, if this has to do with love, like I believe it does, your guides are saying you are showing and holding sacred space for this person. They may be the earth sign. They may be the ones that have the earth element in their chart, or could be you. Take it as it resonates, but don't do the mental gymnastics to make it fit. Only take it if it resonates. That's it. If it doesn't, maybe you'll have another reading another time. But for right now, it seems like your guides are trying to get you to recognize that the respect or the love or the admiration or the romance that you might feel towards a certain energy, I almost feel like you might put them up a little bit on a pedestal, even if they do have a little bit of flaws. You might hold them to a higher level than everyone else, and you show them a certain amount of unconditional love, regardless of what they do in life. You're showing them a certain amount of unconditional love, where Spirit is asking you to turn that love inward as well, to start transmuting and changing your thoughts to say, hey, I deserve just as much love and understanding. Perhaps this is the message that has been trying to come through for a while. Your God, your spirits, your higher self, the cosmos, the universe may still be trying to reach out to you to say, hey, it's time to make a shift in your energy. It's time to transmute self-doubt into self-love. It's time to recognize that we're going to begin again. We understand that your guides understand that you may have had a rough go of it in the beginning, your early years, your early formative years, young adulthood, or even as much as a few years ago. But you can begin again. You can recreate how you want your life to go. Let's get some more cards to go with these oracles. Can you show me what guides? Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Rebirth. And it's a butterfly. Collective, there is something. Oh my God, I'm going to get emotional. Collective, there is something you absolutely need to change. And not because you're not worthy. It's because you are worthy. Well, I'm getting a flood of emotions right now. Oh, that's because you are worthy. There's something that's wanting to begin again. There's some chance, there's some opportunity, there's some love that is literally on your doorstep. But before it can come in, you have to change your thoughts. You have to transmute how you think. Because again, that feeling of, like, the feeling that you feel like you're a pariah, you're not. You're not on the outside. You just have to believe yourself worthy enough to move towards what you want. Your guides are trying to tell you that your highest good, the love that you want, the love that you deserve, the life that you want to live, hinges on how you think about yourself. It's fine if someone that you are connected to, that you hold them in high regard and high esteem, but don't hold them so high up on a pedestal that you make yourself feel small. You are worthy. Earth sign. Let's get a clarification for earth sign. Then we have penance. There's something in regards to this earth sign that you feel like you have to apologize for. You feel like there's some amends to make. There's some mending of a bridge. There's some healing of a wound between you and another energy. You may be the earth sign. They might be the earth sign. But there's something in, oh my gosh. I'm hearing that's one of the main reasons why you're finding it really hard to hold yourself to the, I love myself. I know I can do this. I'm worthy. The love that I desire and I want and I feel that is meant for me, I want to call it into my life. The reason why you're having a hard time doing that is because, collective, I'm feeling like you don't believe in yourself, that you question yourself, that you doubt this love or yourself. And so there is an energy of where you feel like you need to make amends, apologize, or make peace with a person that you're connected to, but I also feel like that has to do within you. You have to be kind to yourself and forgive yourself. We are human. We are going to make mistakes. We're going to fumble and we're going to fall, but we get back up. Every, quote, perceived failure is just a chance to learn. It's a teachable moment. Love and happiness does not require perfection, but what it does require is vulnerability, accountability, self-love, understanding. Let's look at the transmute card. We have 3 cards. That's a lot. Do I want to take the 3 cards that came out? That is a lot. Let's just do the one at a time, because I already feel a lot. We're not even that far into this reading. Clarification for transmute with an oracle. So we have 2. So we have chase, and then we have integration. Oh boy. The chasing energy. Oh boy. I'm hearing that you're always pursuing, collective, that you're always trying to pursue something. And like I said earlier, you might be feeling like, why? Maybe I don't deserve love. Maybe I don't deserve this happiness. Maybe I don't deserve this opportunity. You're chasing a certain dream, a certain want, a certain desire. But you haven't yet learned to love yourself first before you chase that dream. And that's an integral part of it. Then we have integration. Integration, when I hear this word, I automatically think shadow work. Pardon me. My throat chakra is getting tight. So I might be delving into an area where some people might be a little uncomfortable, but integration, when I see it, is Here, let me hold it up so you can see it, is looking within yourself. Deep self-introspection and reflection. To recognize the things that quietly hold us back, that we've allowed to hold on to us for too long. I've heard this one thing where it said the voices in your head that you hear that like say, you can't do this, or you're not worthy, or maybe you're not smart enough, bright enough, pretty enough, fit enough, tall enough, slim enough, whatever those words are, those are not your voice. I read it someplace. It was just a few days ago, but it basically said, those are not your voices. Those are recordings of parents, of teachers, of bullies, of past loves that have been ungenerous. Those are their opinions of you. They're ungenerous opinions of you. And what you need to understand is how to remove those voices so you can hear your own again. Integration is shadow work. It's being able to pull away the layers of judgment that you put upon yourself, the perceived judgments of others, society, and start listening to your own authentic voice. Start realizing that the things that you hold near and dear to yourself isn't a weakness. Your inner world, your shadow, can be a source of strength. And so it feels like collectively you spend a lot of time chasing after a certain outcome, a certain dream, a certain desire. And it always felt a little out of reach. And this is, again, where I'm hearing begin again. It's not out of reach. You were chasing it before, but it wasn't out of reach. The only thing that stood in the way was self-limiting thoughts. Of recognizing if you love yourself first. And this transmute energy is transmuting limiting self-thoughts into self-love. Venus is the planet of love, and it does rule Libra. And the Venus planet of love doesn't always have to mean romantic love. It means self-love too. There's something deeply transformational or transformative, whatever the word it is, transformative about this 1010 portal. There is a realization happening. A really deep realization that something that is not only the realization of your worth, your value, your want to achieve the goals that you want or the dreams that you have, but also the realization of the path of how you want to change your life, how you want to be reborn into a new version, a 2.0 version of yourself, where you love yourself and you can attain the thing that you hope and desire. If it's in your heart space and it's soul level and you feel called to it, then walk towards it. But the first step in that journey is being kind to yourself. No self-limiting thoughts. Wow. Let's go for messages. Clarification on messages, which is like the main underlying thing. Then we have fruition. The thing that you desire, the dream that you want, the love that you hold dear can all come come to fruition. It's just that there is a lot of work, and you may already be in the thick of it. You may already be at the point where you are healing, you are up. Maybe you've already taken the time to make amends with yourself, to recognize, hey, I'm not a perfect person, but that doesn't make me a bad person. It just makes me human. And maybe you feel incentivized to move forward, to talk to someone, to make apologies and amends where they are there. Because I feel like this is it's a heavy feeling, but not in a bad way. It is just a big realization that two things need to happen here. And this is honestly how I feel. There is a need during this 1010 portal for you, the collective, or someone that you are connected very closely to, needs to understand it's time to transmute. It's time to shed the skin of your old self to become a new version of yourself, to move from this caterpillar form into a cocoon so that you can be reborn into a new version of yourself where you love and cherish and value yourself. At the same time, there is some energy that you feel like you're on the outside of, that you don't have access to, but you've never been on the outside of it. It's always been there. It's always wanted to come in. But the first step in attaining that energy, that love, that union is understanding that self-worth, self-healing, self-love have to happen first so that you can move towards whatever this energy is. Let's get some tarot. Okay. Wow, this is really, really big and very heavy. But again, heavy, but not in a bad way, in a very, this is transformative energy. So we have two that came out. So we have Ace of Swords. This is truth. This is, oh, and Emperor. Oh my God, that is divine masculine energy. So it feels like the truth, once you recognize that you have to stop talking to yourself unkindly and start recognizing I'm human, I'm going to make mistakes. Let these be teachable moments. Let me love myself better. Let me treat myself better so that I can move towards this love or this union or whatever it is. Because the truth, I know it's a cliche, but the truth will set you free. And in that freedom, you find power. You find stability. You find balance. Libra season, you find balance. The Emperor energy next to the Ace of Swords, so powerful. This is someone who has finally realized and come into their power, knowing that I may not be perfect, but I know my truth. Oh my gosh, I know what I'm about, son. I don't mean to make light of it, but I heard that. I know what I'm about, son. You know who you are. There's no if, ands, or but. You know who you are. And in knowing yourself and seeing yourself clearly is what helps you move towards the things that you desire. Because when you see yourself clearly, the road to where you want to go, to that desire, that want, that love, becomes clearer. The path seems straightforward. But if you have kind of an askewed view of yourself, if you self-doubt, if you worry about whether or not you're worried, the path from you to where you want to be becomes foggy, becomes a little unclear. You become unsure. Then we have the Sun. I feel like I'm looking at someone going through what we would consider like a dark night of the soul. Really digging deep, really kind of holding a mirror to themselves and seeing themselves exactly as they are. The areas in which they need some polish, some help, some healing, and areas in which they excel. Two things can be right at the same time. You can be flourishing and successful and excel in areas of your life, and there are areas that you may need work. You need a little polish. You need some healing. You need some time. You need some gentleness. And that's okay. And this Sun energy, it makes me feel that after going through so much change during this portal, this pivotal moment, the truth becomes clear. You start recognizing your inner power. And it can, like I said, it makes the path to what you want clearer. This Sun energy, this unbridled joy, this ultimate, absolute happy ending. Whatever it is, but it feels like love. Just saying. Four of Swords in reverse. This usually means, I would say, not a reluctancy to heal, but kind of avoid healing. But in this, with the way that the cards are lined up and the energy around it, it makes me feel like you are coming up out of healing. You've been in healing for a really long time. You've been doing the work. You've been doing all of the work. And you're finally ready to test. Not put to test, but put to action the things that you've learned. The healing has been done. There's only so much physical therapy you can do after an injury before the only way that you know that you're ready is to go out into the world and live your life, play that sport, do that activity. You've been in healing for a really long time. But this energy that you've healed to, that you've recognized, you're like, I feel more myself than I have in a really long time. And let me also just say that, collective, you may feel that, especially with that Pariah song at the beginning, you may feel like you're on the outside of who you used to be. Maybe you could look back at yourself and be like, I used to be so confident, so self-assured. At what point did I lose that confidence in myself, and why? Here, that's part of this shadow work, but here it's like you understand the truth, and this is where you're gaining your self-power back, your self-worth back, and I don't want to say self-worth back, but you recognize your self-worth. It's becoming clear to you again. What you once had that you felt that you lost, as far as like self-love and confidence, is returning bit by bit. And so the only way you can know you're really and truly, ready to step out into the world after your healing is to put yourself in the situation, put yourself out into the world to experience. I just heard sometimes you do have to take the training wheels off, and that's not to minimize or marginalize the healing process. It's just simply a metaphor. At some point, you have to stop the physical therapy. You have to take the training wheels off. You have to take the chance and live your life to see if all the healing that you've done has prepared you, which, spoiler alert, I believe it has. Then we have the Chariot. So once you realize that you can come up out of that healing stage where you're no longer in physical therapy, you're no longer using the training wheels, you're no longer in the sparring version or the test run version, that you're ready to kind of move through the world in your most authentic energy, in your truth, in your power, in pursuit of your happiness. Once you come up out of that healing, the momentum, I don't want to scare anybody, but that momentum is going to be at breakneck speed. It's almost like as if energetically the world or the universe is trying to help you make up for lost time. Whoa, that almost flew into the flame. Then we've got Seven of Cups in reverse. This is no longer being confused, no longer being paralyzed by choice, no longer feeling stuck in not knowing what choice to make, because you know what choice you need to make. You know which would lead to the path that you need to walk. You know how you want to live your life. Whereas before, I feel like perhaps you may have sat in kind of a frozen state where there was so many ways to pursue this love, pursue self-healing, pursue enriching and bettering your life, that there were all these things that you knew you wanted to do and or knew that you had to do, but the idea of having all of these things, thinking of them all at once, paralyzed you. Like you didn't know where to start, and so you didn't start anywhere. But after this, you're well on your way. This portal, this 1010 portal may be, and I don't want to say difficult because I don't think it's difficult, but it might be a really deep realization that after all this time, I still feel this way. After all this time, I still want this life or this love. After all this time of listening to, family that have been hard on you, or bosses or jobs that have been hard on you, that you aren't their opinion of you. You are you. And you're taking back your power. You're recognizing your self-worth. You're recognizing your value. You're recognizing your power. That is the truth. The truth leads to self-empowerment and happiness. So, for this 1010 portal, my goodness, what advice does Spirit want to give the collective? I mean, you already seem to be going through it, but what is the advice that the universe, the cosmos, your higher self wants to give the collective? Four of Swords. Oh, I just heard this isn't the only time you're going to heal. So you come up out of healing here for one specific area. But I'm hearing the process to living a happy life is always recognizing when you need healing. And to move towards that unabashedly. I'm hearing the analogy of sort of like an athlete or someone who goes to the gym a lot. You can go to the gym and you can work out, be really dedicated, eat clean, lift weights, and your body is toned and in its perfect physical form. So that's you coming out of healing. You have worked really hard to get to this good place, inside and outside. But the thing about going to the gym and attaining that sort of goal, you don't just walk away and say, now that I've reached my best and highest physical goal and I am in peak physical condition, I don't have to exercise ever again, and this is going to stay exactly the same. Now, is that true? No, we know that's not true. You get to a point, you get to enlightenment, you get to the end stage, you get to your goal, you get to your happiness. But that doesn't mean that doesn't require maintenance. Spirit is saying, yes, you've come out of healing, but don't be afraid to deep dive into healing when it's needed, when you're called to, when it's necessary, because this life is always about moving, changing, growing, progressing, and we will always be met with challenges. We need to understand that moving through those challenges is important, but also healing through challenges is equally important. We're never going to stop learning and growing, and so we're never going to stop needing a time and a place to heal. Oops, there goes another one. So then we have the Fool. This is the universe saying, be open. Be open to these beginnings. Again, begin again. Be open to this new beginning where you reinvent yourself. And by reinventing yourself, and I'm not trying to suggest that you aren't just the way you're supposed to be. But like I said, those voices in your head, those opinions that you carry of, I'm not good enough, maybe I'm meant to be alone, maybe I don't deserve this opportunity. Those are not your voices. Those are opinions of ungenerous people over the course of your life. And you need to tune those out and start listening to your own voice. So don't be afraid of healing. You will likely need to in the future. This is not an if, it's a when. And understand that healing isn't a bad thing. You need time to recuperate, but always be open to new possibilities, because new possibilities right under the sun leads to happiness. Like you're not able to experience new happiness and new joys if you're not willing to go on that journey. Sure, there might be a bumpy road sometimes. Sometimes there might be some challenges or some twists and turns or some switchbacks on the trail. That doesn't mean that the end is not worth the pursuit. We've got two more, so we'll see what those are. Then we have the Two of Coins. Two of Coins during Libra season. This is about balancing. This is about weighing the options. And when I say weighing the options, I don't mean like this or that. It's like, how can I keep these two things balanced? Like I said, two things can be true at the same time. Knowing that you need to heal and recognizing your strength. That is a balancing act. knowing that you are wanting a love or a desire, and at the same time figuring out how to achieve that. That's a balancing act. Harnessing your masculine energy and your divine feminine energy. Masculine action, passion, divine feminine energy, intuition, trusting your gut, and creativity. And the last card is the Star. This is Aquarius energy. This is about hope. This is about dreams. This is about wishes, all coming to fruition. But you have to recognize, heal when it's needed. Be open to the possibilities of new lives. Again, begin again. Take the time to make sure that things are in balance. Are you being unnecessarily hard on yourself? Are you doubting yourself too much? Put that into check. We excel in areas and we also need work in areas. Those two things can be true at the same time. When you can understand that you can embody two different things at the same time, divine masculine, divine feminine, where we need work and where we excel, then you make room for hopes and dreams and wishes to come true. This feels so much in alignment with love. We have earth energy here. I already said you could be a earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, your sun, moon, rising, or stellium, but you also could have Aquarius in your chart. Sun, moon, rising, or a stellium. Those things might be important. I do feel like I need to grab one more oracle, and I don't know which one to grab. I'm being told one more card. One more card. Okay, we're going to use the practical, because this has started off a lot as self-love and recognition that something needs to shift in order for you to continue in pursuit of your happiness. Certain things need to shift. Certain things need to be changed or adjusted, and not in personality, but in how you think of yourself, to be kinder to yourself. Let's use the practical self-love oracle cards. We'll just get one card. Oop, there we go. Then we've got born to stand out. You don't fit in. Stand in your own power and be proud of your individuality. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Born to stand out. You don't fit in. Stand in your own power and be proud of your individuality. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like the truth. That sounds like self-empowerment. And that sounds like happiness. So I'm going to put that right here in the middle. And that is the reading that I have for the 1010 portal. Because this energy seems so powerful and so transformative, I may do another reading tonight or tomorrow. But this is the official 1010 portal reading. Thank you so much for being here. I can't do any of this without you. And if you like the way that I read and you feel so inclined, please consider sharing, and subscribing, because it does help my little stories reach more people who may want or need to hear my readings. At any rate, I hope you enjoy this 1010 portal. I hope it is helpful to your growth and your happiness. This is Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I will see you on the next reading.